It's been all the Raiders. John Mackovic, the young coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, Minnie Field, the young, brilliant coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, has never defeated the Los Angeles Raiders. They have beaten him 4 straight. Two interesting teams, and it should be a very interesting football game. Two quarterbacks who came into the game in entirely different directions. Jim Plunkett, 1971, he was indeed the Rookie of the Year, but he's also a Heisman Trophy winner. Well, Bill Kenny was drafted in the 12th round by Miami. They cut him. He went to Washington. They cut him. He didn't even play for a year. And now all of a sudden he's the quarterback they feel in Kansas City who can take the Chiefs to the Super Bowl. And who better to talk about these two quarterbacks than a man that Kenny joined in the ranks a couple of years ago as one of 8 who's passed for 4,000 yards, Joe Namath. They are different, Joe, very different.
They certainly are, Frank. And Bill started out this season just where he left off last season. He's currently leading the NFL in yardage. He has some good receivers to work with. But comparing Bill with Plunkett, well, Plunkett's not the most graceful athlete looking. He's not the smoothest looking athlete, but he gets the job done. And why? Because he's been around for 15 years. There isn't a defense he hasn't seen in the secondary or on the defensive front. He's a truly experienced veteran.
And they have some speed on the outside.
Oh, they do. Both starters for Kansas City, Carlos and Marshall were track men in high school and college, as well as Hester and Dokie Williams for the Raiders, so they are fast.
Could see some big ones tonight because we know the Raiders like to go deep. And while we're talking about offense, we kind of overlooked the fact that these are two of the best defensive teams, and we are going to see perhaps the two best defensive linemen, many people say, in the game today playing against each other tonight.
Well, with all due respect to Leroy Selma, who's out for the year, I think you're looking at, in obviously Howie Long, the best all-around defensive lineman in the league today. And when you look at Kansas City's Art Steele, you're looking at a guy who's right there with him. Art Steele led his team in sacks last year as well as in tackles. Now, that is just about unheard of for defensive linemen, down linemen in a 3-4 defense. Some key matchups to watch tonight is Henry Lawrence against Art Steele. And, of course, those two fine rated cornerbacks, Mike Haynes and Lester Hayes, going against these fine receivers here. One guy to keep an eye on is number 44, a guy named Herman Hurd. He's the guy that's been overlooked here, and I think he just may have something to say about who's going to win this game tonight. Well, there's always a lot of emotions when you're talking about Kansas City and the Raiders. So, Giff, why don't we get them started and let them vent some of those emotions?
Jim Plunkett, he's been up, down, all around, but he has those 2 Super Bowl victory rings. Of course, he came up with that New England team, Rookie of the Year. Remarkable young man. Joe may be understated. He doesn't look all that good, but he gets it done. And Bill Kenny, we told you about him, brought up by Miami those 8 years ago. As a 12th round draft pick, they cut him, Washington cut him, but here he is. Maybe he inherited that from Tom Landry. But all of a sudden, he's sitting on a team that destroyed New Orleans in their opener, while Tom Flory's team destroyed the New York Jets, a 31-0 victory. It was 47-27 by the Chiefs over New Orleans. As you can see, the Chiefs will be kicking off. That'll mean Nick Lowry putting in motion. Clee Montgomery, number 28, is deep, along with Sam Seal. The Raiders and the Chiefs, they've been at each other, as I mentioned, since 1960. Some bitter games have taken place. Lowry hangs it high. Montgomery waits at the 5. Montgomery got away from one Chief at the 10, but he's nailed at the 16-yard line, hustling down there. Recently acquired former Raider Otis McKinney. And out comes Plunkett last week. 14 of 21, 242 yards, 1 touchdown. Was sacked 4 times, beating the Jets 31-0. He has been up and down, and it has been an up and down career as we look at the rest of the Raider offense. Headed, of course, by Marcus Allen, the man that John Mackovic has already told us that you must stop if you're going to beat the Raiders. Well, they have stopped Marcus Allen pretty much since he came up. They've stopped him in 5 games. He's only gotten 1 touchdown against them. But the rest of the Raiders have torn them up. Here comes Frank Hawkins. Out close to the 19-yard line. He'll get about 4 out of it. It'll bring up 2nd and 6. And these 3 guys were all number 1 draft picks. Collectively, there were only 9 players picked ahead of Bell, Moss, and Steele in their respective drafts. On the corner, they have one really fine cornerback in Albert Lewis, while Kevin Ross, the 2nd-year man at the other corner, will be tested tonight, I'm quite sure. He stood up to it a year ago. They plan on great things from number 31, Kevin Ross. But the Raiders, I'm sure, will test him with their speed on the outside. Hester and Dokie Williams. 3rd and 6. 2nd and 6, rather. Dokie Williams comes down with it. Close to the first down. Might be just a little bit shy, but Dokie Williams coming off a big game last week. 5 receptions, 131 yards. A 41-yard touchdown against the Jets. As the Raiders had pretty much their own way of it against the Jets. They'll bring out the sticks, and we can tell you our referee tonight will be Fred Silva. Beautiful football facility here, along with Giant Stadium in the Meadowlands. Perhaps the best in football. As you can see, first down for the Raiders as they get out from deep in their own territory. Bucket will look over that 3-4 defense. They'll set up in that most of the night. Then they'll bring in Pete Kotz, recently acquired from Cincinnati, when they go to the 4-down men. Marcus Allen hurdles over the 30-yard line, getting perhaps 4. It'll bring up 2nd down and 6.
And the reason he got that 4 yards, Frank, is because Mickey Marvin and Henry Lawrence blew off the ball in good fashion. It's going to be an interesting matchup tonight with Art Still and Henry Lawrence. I'd keep an eye on them this evening.
That, of course, over the right side. Lawrence, number 70, Art Still, 67. Art Still, as O.J. touched on at the beginning of the telecast, one of the best, if not the best, defensive linemen in the game today. Leading tackler, as O.J. mentioned. He was also the leading sacker a year ago. Marcus Allen. And a hustling, pursuing Kansas City Chief defense will nail Allen for a loss of a couple. Scott Radisek, the linebacker, was there first, number 97. 2nd-round pick last year. It's a young team, this Kansas City Chief team. Radisek only in his 2nd year. Kevin Ross at the corner in his 2nd year. 3rd down and 7.
Kansas City came with the strong safety blitz that last play. That was the reason for the play not gaining any yards.
6 defensive backs in the lineup. Burris, Lewis, Hill, Cherry, Ross, and Cockcroft. Plunkett stands in the pocket, gets to Todd Christensen, the tight end, short of the 1st down, and the Raiders will have to bring out the punting unit. Albert Lewis was all over Todd Christensen, and that will tell you something about the respect they have for tight end Todd Christensen. They put Albert Lewis on him. Many times you'll see a tight end covered by a linebacker or a pair of linebackers, but not Todd Christensen.
You know, with Todd Christensen's experience, I'm surprised he didn't get deep enough to make that 1st down.
You're looking at Garcia Lane, a former USFLer from Baltimore. Had a couple of returns against the Jets on Sunday. Nothing spectacular, and there is Ray Guy. That really is amazing for the career he's had. A number 1 draft pick way back in 1973. Doesn't turn over, but he gets some distance anyway, and Garcia is at the 17 of the Chiefs. Spins out over the 20, close to the 23-yard line, where we will see the offensive unit for the first time tonight of the Kansas City. Not have room to put on there is the fact that the Chiefs have also lost all 5 of those games. John Makovic would like to come up with his initial win over these Raiders. Makovic, coming from the Cowboys in 1983, has a lot of faith in Bill Kenny. Traded off Steve Fuller. Makovic, before he had a chance to watch Bill Kenny work, drafted in his very first draft the number 1 pick, Todd Blackledge, great quarterback at Penn State. And he is going with Bill Kenny, convinced he's the man to bring the Chiefs back into playoff contention. So getting away was Kenny, and hustling in there was Rod Martin, landing on Herman Hurd, and there's a loss on the very first play for the Chiefs. Let's take a look at this offensive unit. O.J. and I touched on it. Speed on the outside for Bill Kenny, who, by the way, had 397 yards against New Orleans and 3 touchdowns. There are the skill receivers, if you will. Henry Marshall, Carlos Carson on the outside, a lot of speed. Bob Olderman, a rookie starter at right guard, replacing departed Tom Condon, who was picked up by New England yesterday. Veteran guard on the right side, Tom Condon. 2nd down, 15. Kenny looks over the middle, and he fires it into Walt Arnold. And Arnold gets some of it back, not enough for the 1st down, but it will bring up a 3rd down and 7 as we look at the defensive unit, headed, of course, by Howie Long and Lyle Alzado. They shuffle it all around. They'll bring in Greg Townsend. They'll bring in Sean Jones, who had a couple of sacks against the Jets. And still going strong out at linebacker, Brad Van Pelt, now in his 12th year. And the cornerbacks are none better, people will tell you, than Mike Haynes, number 22, and Lester Hayes, 37. 3 wide receivers now for the Chiefs as they look over a 3rd and 7 from the shotgun. Stephon Page has joined Carson and Marshall. Kenny will go down. He's sacked. Howie Long, hustling Howie Long. He didn't get a sack against the Jets, but the Raiders will tell you that he probably was responsible for 4 or 5 of them. They have to double team him. He'd take the entire pack and move him back, freeing up somebody else. This time he gets his own.
Now, that was a very interesting sack. Well, they're punting now. We'll get back to it in a minute.
Arnold is a punter. Hangs it high for Clee Montgomery at the Raiders' 36-yard line. Gets away from one tackler, but is taken at the 23.
What I was going to say, Frank, that last sack was an interesting sack because Howie Long's job was to go down on the guard and take all the blockers away so Bill Paquille could come around and make the sack. Not only did he go down and take the guards away, he made the sack.
He hit him up, didn't he? Well, he's been doing it ever since he came into the league. He is really something special. Howie Long, 5 years now out of Villanova. Second round draft pick back in 1981. We'll be watching him all night. Raiders, second possession of the night. First down and 10. The ball at their own 37-yard line. If you just joined us, there is no score. It's the Raiders and the Chiefs. Arrowhead Stadium, Kansas City, Missouri. Marcus Allen, and he's hit hard at the line of scrimmage. Down he goes. Gary Spaney, a veteran inside linebacker, and a good one.
Now, in watching the Raiders on offense, try to set things up for the big play.
One thing is for sure, O.J., I was going to say, you will see some deep balls thrown here tonight. They love it. Plunkett scrambles out of the pocket. Gets the ball to Frank Hawkins, but he is nailed after a pickup of 1. Plunkett wanted to go downfield, but there was nothing doing downfield. Good defensive effort. Spaney and Moss falling off to nail Frank Hawkins for a gain of a couple to bring up 3rd and long. Lyle Alzado in his 15th year. Did it so well for Denver, then a couple of years at Cleveland, and just keeps rolling along. Raiders don't care how old you are. They don't care much about your attitude. Just win, baby. That's the motto. 3rd and 8. Plunkett with good protection. Todd Christensen has the first down at the 45-yard line of the Chiefs.
Big Jim threw a strike that time, obviously, and the play did work, by the way, because the man just found a dead spot in between the zone. Burris didn't quite get over far enough toward the center of the field.
He does it so well, too. He had 6 receptions against the Jets last week for 87 yards, but in 84, he had 80 receptions. He had 92 in 83. The former running back with the Dallas Cowboys cut there and cut by the Giants. The Raiders made him into an all-pro tight end. 1st and 10. Marcus Allen. Big opening for Allen. And Allen will have another Raider first down close to the 32-yard line, breaking tackles and then accelerating. That is vintage Marcus Allen.
I think the Raiders have figured out what the Chiefs are doing in offsetting Bill Moss, their nose tackle. That time Moss moved over top of Mickey Marvin, and Marcus just cut right back inside of him.
It's a good graphic. Marcus Allen has a remarkable 46 touchdowns in 42 games played. Yet in 5 games against the Kansas City Chiefs, he scored 1 touchdown. John Makovic is met for the last 4 games. He said, shut down Marcus Allen, you can beat the Raiders. There. Plunkett times one out beautifully to Dokie Williams, and that ball was thrown as Williams was getting by the cornerback. Albert Lewis was trying to run with Dokie Williams. It was absolutely perfectly timed, Joe.
It was perfectly timed, and the quarterback, Lewis, was one-on-one with Dokie, and that's what set this up. You see, the defense came with an all-out blitz that time, and Dokie, with his speed, as we mentioned earlier, is very difficult to keep up with man-to-man.
You said something that was very pertinent at the top of the show, Joe. Jim Plunkett has seen just about everything that you can offer him in terms of defense. He saw the blitz coming. He knew he had to put it up. He put it right up there perfectly as Frank Hawkins tries to right. Piled up inside the 1-yard line. That's watching in isolation, but keep in mind now, Plunkett is going to throw this ball right about here. Dokie Williams had not even looked up when Plunkett released it, and you could not have timed it out better. And Albert Lewis, also keep in mind, is perhaps the best defensive back on this Kansas City Chiefs football team. That's the time remaining in the first quarter. The Raiders, second down, goal to go. Hawkins, flag is down. Hawkins was in the end zone. Referee Fred Sims.
Number 99, encroachment.
Refused.
Mike Bell, encroachment, refused. Of course, the touchdown will stand. And I understand we are having some audio difficulties in our lines reaching New York. We apologize, and you can be quite certain our skilled group of technicians have got their pliers and the wrenches out. They're trying to find the problem for you. Raiders go out on top. 5:59 remaining in the first quarter. Chris Barr for the conversion. Mark Wilson, the backup quarterback, puts it down, and the Raiders have a 7-0 lead here in the first quarter. And there is Frank Hawkins, elevated to a starter, with Kenny King now backing up Marcus Allen. Chiefs drop Jeff Smith, number 42, and Anthony Hancock deep to receive the kickoff of Chris Barr. Beautiful evening here in Kansas City, although they were anticipating showers, as I mentioned. Crowd of some 75,000 here at Arrowhead. It seats 78,000. The game is blacked out in the Kansas City area. Raiders playing on a Thursday night. They played, of course, on Sunday. They were not happy about being scheduled here to play tonight. The 2-hour time difference for them, that is unusual after playing on Sunday to play on Thursday. Jeff Smith from the 2-yard line. Jeff Smith, a rookie 10th round draft pick from Nebraska, gets it out over the 20-yard line. Hit there by Trey Junkin. And let's take a look at that scoring drive. Of course, the big play coming when Jim Plunkett fired that shot to Dokie Williams on the blitz. There you are. Frank Hawkins took it in. The Chiefs had an offsides, and the Raiders were on top 7-0. Chiefs with the 2 setbacks. Herman Hurd, number 44. Bruce King, the rookie from Purdue. Hurd is 44. King 46. Kinney dumps it off to Hurd. And Hurd held to about a 6-yard pickup by the defensive unit. I remind you, Saturday on CFA College Football, UCLA going against Tennessee. UCLA, of course, beat Brigham Young and stopped their 25-game winning streak last Saturday. Or some parts of the country will see Brigham Young and their quarterback, Robbie Bosco, a top Heisman candidate, go against the University of Washington. CFA College Football here on ABC. Hurd got 6 out of it, so 2nd down and 4. Ball up close to the 28-yard line. Carlos Carson in motion, number 88, the speedster, wide receiver. This is Hurd. And Hurd hit just short of the 30-yard line. Tough running against these Raiders, O.J.
Yes, and as we know,
the Raiders put on the rush, and then they dinked it over the top of the on-rushing line to Hurd. He got 6 yards out of it. 3rd down now and 2. John Makovic thinks pass and then run. I can assure you of that. Kinney, wide open. Walt Arnold, a tight end, and Arnold showing good speed down the sideline. And they take him out of bounds at the 32-yard line. Taken up was Mike Davis. Mike Davis slow getting up. Walt Arnold, who had a big game against New Orleans last week.
take a look at Arnold. It's only a left side. Actually, Mike had him covered, but when he looked back at the quarterback, Arnold slid to the outside, and I guess he's been working with Bill Kinney on that. And when you're familiar with your receiver, you can get away with a play like that.
Arnold's been around a little bit, too. A couple of years at Houston. He was at Washington last year. They got him as a free agent here at Kansas City, and they are really high on him. The Chiefs have a first down. They trail 7-0. 4 minutes, 16 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Bill Kinney back in the pocket again. Wide open is Carson. Carson so wide open in front of Lester Hayes. You won't see that very often. You'll see Hayes get beat deep, but you won't see him laying off a wide receiver 6 or 7 yards like he did then.
I had a chance to visit with Carlos Carson and Henry Marshall yesterday, and they both said that they love playing the Raiders. Even though they're playing against the best, they felt that they got covered one-on-one when they came off the line of scrimmage. They didn't have to read any zone defense. It was just you against me.
Carlos Carson, he had 8 receptions, 173 yards, a 21-6 average, and 2 touchdowns against New Orleans on Sunday. The Chiefs blowing New Orleans out. Play action by Kinney. He went 6. Looking deep into the end zone, just throwing it away. Bruce King out of the backfield. And it didn't take Kinney long to realize that he was going to be well covered. Actually, he was double covered for much of the distance.
As Coach Magovitz told us this morning, Kinney is a very intelligent quarterback, and he did just simply throw the ball out of the end zone. Saved losing ground. You know, a lot of quarterbacks have a lot, so He'll throw it away when he has to.
John Makovic provides the play calling for the Chiefs. Kenny now 4 of 5, 67 yards. A moment ago, his first incompletion. 2nd and 10, there's movement. It appeared to be the Raiders, but perhaps they were drawn off because there were several Raiders who went all at once. Procedure call. It was movement on the part of the Kansas City Chiefs.
72. Ball start.
David Lutz over the right side. Frank Gifford along with Joe Namath and O.J. Simpson. A bit of rivalry between these two teams, but the Raiders have won the last 5 times. The Chiefs think they are emerging. Raiders have scored first here in the first quarter. Good pass by Plunkett to Dokie Williams to set up a 1-yard touchdown leap by Frank Hawkins. Rivals since 1960. In the old days of the American Football League. Bitter rivals indeed. First, 2nd and 15. Kenny trying to get to Carlos again. This time a fine defensive play by Lester Hayes. He covered him that time.
He sure did.
Amazing. 33 career interceptions for Lester Hayes, now in his 9th season. Had 13 of them in 1980, and interesting, too, that he's only had 5 in the last 3 years.
I think most of that was psychological for Lester. The minute they outlawed Stickum, he used to wear all that Stickum. When he couldn't wear Stickum, he stopped.
Number 87. Illegal motion. Refused. 3rd down.
Walt Arnold was illegally in motion. The Raiders turned it down. It'll bring up 3rd down and 15. Out come the 3 wide receivers. Stephon Page is in there. Actually, there are 4 wide receivers as we look down now. Anthony Hancock, number 82. Henry Marshall, 89. Carlos Carson is 88. Bruce King is also a good receiver out of the backfield. From the shotgun on 3rd and 15. The ball at the 21-yard line of the Raiders. Kenny with a lot of time. Oh, there was some rough stuff going on between Marshall. Yeah, they finally got it. And Mike Haynes. Mike Haynes and Marshall collided at about the 4 or 5 yard line. There was a very late flag. I don't think the official who was nearest saw the bumping. And now you see Mike Haynes get right in there. I'm sure we'll have a replay of it, but there was some bumping inside the 5 yard line.
Should be interesting because Mike had inside position on him, and it looked like Marshall ran into Mike Haynes.
Here's referee Fred Silva. Obviously, is not going to work for the Chiefs. Well, apparently the flag that was thrown meant nothing. Let's look at it
now,
again.
Number 22 is Mike Haynes. He has the right. Well. It could have been incidental, but he had the right to his position on the field.
Well, if they have an incidental contact, they ought to say something when they drop a flag. Nick Lowry, 4 for 4 last week. The holder is Bill Kenny, 39-yard attempt. Lowry is now 5 for 5 on the season, as the best field goal accuracy percentage in the history of the National Football League. John Makovic, quite exercised while we were away with the commercial. He was really chattering to the officials on the field. And well, he might, because the flag did go down. There was contact at the goal line. You saw the replay. We'll try to show you again in a few moments. Had that been pass interference, Mike Haynes against the offensive receiver Henry Marshall, the Chiefs would have a first down at the 1 yard line. Nick Lowry hangs it high. Clea Montgomery is deep for the Raiders, and he'll bring it out. Montgomery over the 20 to the 22-yard line. Let's look at it again. This is Henry Marshall. Now, this is Mike Haynes, one of the best in the business in man-to-man coverage. He's got inside position. That's what he wants. Now, the contact will come right about here. There's a little move to the outside, and then it did appear as if Haynes leaned in to Marshall. One official had made the call, and he was overruled by another. That was the information that we received.
It was certainly close. It could have gone either way.
I'd be guessing, and I am, but I think that he just couldn't get to the ball or couldn't reach it, and the official thought it was incidental. He wouldn't have caught the pass anyway.
The information we received, the one official told him to pick up the flag because we saw it better from our angle. Marcus Allen, and Allen is a scramble for the ball. They pull it out, whistle had blown. Marcus Allen was out over the 25-yard line. There was about 5 Chiefs on top of him. Somebody pulled the ball out. Bill Moss, the bottom of that pile.
Well, Marcus had a reputation a few years ago of being a fumbler, so once you get that handle on you, anytime you get in a crowd like that, guys are grabbing for that football.
And I think about that all the time. We watch Wendell Tyler. Once you fumble 2 or 3 times, and you can better believe in the scouting reports, they're going to stand up there and say, go after the ball. So it's really kind of self-generating in terms of numbers of fumbles. 2nd down and 6. Christensen. And Christensen, did he stay in bounds? No, he'll be short of the 1st down. He tried to dance down the sidelines, but they mark it at the 29-yard line. Lloyd Burris was there defensively for the Chiefs. Short of the 1st down is Todd Christensen. Jim Plunkett in. I've admired him for so many years. Just amazing. He's not a pretty quarterback. Let's be honest about it. He just isn't. He looks a little like Billy Gilmer. He just gets it done. He just wins what he does.
They have a phrase in L.A. They call it winning ugly.
Well, I didn't put it that way. He is also 6 of 6 for 62 yards on the night. 3rd down 3. Raiders leading 7-3. Plunkett. Oh, and he was right in the hands of Marcus Allen. You won't see that happen again this year, probably. Allen, a really fine receiver. What did he do, O.J.?
Oh, he was trying to get upfield too bad. He had his old buddy and a good friend of his, Otis McKinney, number 21, guarding him. Put a nice second move on Otis, and he was trying to get upfield. I guess they've had a few races in practice, and he feels he's faster than Otis, and he was trying to get upfield before he caught the ball.
Even the best of them will take a peek before the ball gets in their hands. Garcia Lane, number 41, is back. Here's Ray Guy on. Typical Raider Kansas City Chief game. They are always hitting games. Guy has to go high for that one. And hangs one high. Garcia Lane. Well, I was hoping he was going to call for that fair catch because Ray Guy put that one right up at the top of the stadium. Fair catch at the 30-yard line. So the Chiefs will have relatively fine field position when
we're old enough to remember Broadway Joe and the Juice. Sorry, Frank.
Well, some of us remember, Frank. I sure do.
I'll pull out my old black and white highlights.
My dad told me about you, Frank.
Get off my back. I had no zippers on mine. Set to go. The Chiefs 1st down and 10. Ball at their own 31-yard line. Raiders on top 7-3. Bruce King. King surges up to about the 34-yard line. A gain of 3. It'll bring up 2nd down and 7. In baseball for New York. The Yankees are going against Toronto this evening. In pursuit of Toronto. 2nd down and 7. Kenny hands off inside. Bruce King. And King lumbers for the 1st down to the 42-yard line, taken out of bounds by another rookie who starts for Kansas City, Reggie McKenzie, filling in for Bob Nelson. Reggie McKenzie, quite a story, 11th round draft pick. His twin brother we watched the other night with the Redskins, a 10th round draft pick. There he is, number 94, Reggie McKenzie.
2 times on 1st down. Now, the Chiefs have had a one-back offense. Bruce King was the only back. Walt Arnold was a tight end, and Willie Scott, 2 tight ends. I don't expect to see a lot of that. They certainly weren't successful with it early.
All right. 1st down, Kansas City. Ball inside the 43-yard line.
Van McElroy is playing with one shoe right now.
Here comes the blitz.
I go after him.
Van Pelt, number 91, is chasing Kenny. And Bruce King does not hold on.
Right before the ball was snapped, Van McElroy took his shoe and threw it to the sidelines. He's going to get it now.
Van Pelt threw the timing off on this play. This was a screen pass designed to come to the right side, and with the all-out blitz, the King didn't get out there quick enough.
Having some changes now as McElroy started off the field, finally threw away an inner sole of his shoe, putting it back on, not going to use the timeout. Raiders have their prevent defense in. Their extra back, Stacey Turan, who had a touchdown interception of 76 yards against the Jets, is in there. He's number 30. 2nd and long. The blitz is on again. Howie Long just about gets Kenny. He ducks under one. He can't duck under the second one. It was Matt Millen as Bill Kenny chased out of the pocket by Jeff Barnes. Howie Long missed, and Matt Millen didn't.
And this is a perfect reason why last week Howie Long didn't have any sacks, but the Raiders had 10 sacks, and most of them were caused by Howie Long, causing some kind of havoc, forcing quarterbacks to run him around, and his teammates polishes him off.
They were all there. Every time Kenny got away from one, there was another one. Third down 19 now, and this is when they really lay their ears back. Howie Long, Alzado, Piquel, Sean Jones. Forget run. They just come. They're 4 down linemen. Kenny gets it off. No. It was a great effort by Carson to stay in bounds, but he did not. Official right on top of it. The fans didn't like it. Bill Kenny, however, showed you what an arm he's got.
He's got a good arm. Carson just got to get his left foot down quickly enough.
That is a well-thrown ball right in between two defenders. That is how much confidence that Kenny has in that arm. And well, you saw it, 1 foot. Well, I think both of them were out.
Yeah, both of them were out.
Jim Arnold led the league in average a year ago. Gets a bad punt. Lee Montgomery, as he should, takes it in stride and turns it into a big gainer. A lot of inexperienced punt return people would have let that ball bounce. Lee Montgomery knew he had a shot to take it all the way back, but he gives the Raiders good field position near midfield.
And they lost.
Lost to St. Louis in overtime. Meanwhile, Mark Malone had 5 touchdown passes for the Steelers. And Louis Lips caught 3 of them. First down and 10. The Raiders near the 48-yard line. They lead 7-3. Hawkins, right side. Good open field tackle. Brilliant open field tackle by Albert Lewis. Albert Lewis and the arrival of Kevin Ross was the reason that John Malkovich.
They say he will be the next Mike Haynes.
They do like him here. He's big, 6'2", 190-pounder, and good speed. Second down and 10. Marcus Allen, and the pile surges into Chief territory near the 48-yard line. Allen with about a 3-yard pickup. It'll be third down and 6.
That's what they call a basic Raider muscle play. Everybody get on a man and push him. That's not the type of plays halfbacks would prefer to run on.
Time will run out before we get another playoff here in Kansas City. There it is, the end of the first quarter. Hard-hitting football game, and the Raiders are on top 7-3. They almost sold out a year ago for the Raiders. Kansas City has had 1 winning season in 11 years. Their fortunes have really fallen. They have high hopes, however, for this year. Third down, long yardage. Plunkett goes down, chased out of the pocket. He goes down as the nose tackle, Bill Moss, got around his block and pursued Plunkett. You don't see that very often either.
Big Jim just didn't have enough time that time. There was a lot of good coverage downfield.
The big steals. Maybe Henry gave a little too much ground to begin with. Steals have those long arms, and you can see Big Moss coming around from the other side.
Chiefs had dropped into a 4-down line for that pass pressure, and they got it. Garcia Lane is back for the Chiefs on 4th down. Ray Guy on to punt. Another high snap to Guy. Looks for the corner. Garcia Lane was there. And anticipating the move by Ray Guy. That was a good move by Garcia Lane, because that ball was headed in a direction that would have taken it out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. Good effort by Garcia Lane. What Garcia Lane did, they don't want to give Ray Guy another chance, so they turn the penalty down. First and 10, the Kansas City Chiefs. First possession here in the second quarter. They trail the Raiders 7-3. Kenny putting both backs to the left, throwing back against the grain. And up goes Henry Marshall, and he could not come down with it.
Kenny got knocked down very hard that time by Bill Piquel, but he did throw a strike. I thought he should have caught the pass. Well, you see, Kenny has time as he drops back on the play action, but Piquel gets away from the center. Kenny has to release the ball now, and the ball should have been caught.
I mentioned earlier that Bill Kenny had a 4,000-yard season in '83. He missed 9 games a year ago, broke his thumb in the final preseason game. And then he had a knee problem later in the year, hamstring troubles. He's hoping he can get through this one injury-free and play back to that '83 season. Second and 10. This is Ken Lacey. Oh, and Lacey has really hammered at the 21-yard line. A gain of only one, as Mike Haynes came up quickly. He got support out there.
Tackled by Mike Haynes.
Rod Martin.
Big Rod Martin from you.
Ethan Horton comes in, the #1 draft pick as a running back. Number 32 from North Carolina for the Chiefs. He's also a good receiver. Had 5 receptions a week ago. Kinney, the man open. And Carson comes down with it, beating Lester Hayes. He'll have a first down for the Chiefs. At the 47-yard line of the Raiders, a 31-yard pickup, and Carson picking up where he left off against New Orleans. 8 receptions against New Orleans, 176 yards.
Carlos Carson did an excellent job of not indicating the ball was coming. He turned around and caught the ball right off Lester Hayes' head.
Remember earlier, Carson beat Hayes underneath. That time Hayes, probably remembering that, when Hayes was about 5 yards off of Carson in the first quarter, he was playing him close. Carson put the speed on, gets the reception, and the Chiefs first down at the 47-yard line of the Raiders. Kenny back again. Blitz is on, and a good pickup on the part of Kansas City. Henry Marshall comes down with it. Good timing. They had to give Kenny a lot of time because that was a deep out run by Marshall, and there was good blocking.
I had a chance to finish visit with Lenny Dawson.
Inside that 5-yard zone where it's allowed. They might be the best. On 1st and 10. That's Hurd. Second-year man out of Southern Colorado, leading rusher last Sunday against New Orleans. Lyle Alzado is at the bottom of the pile up after a gain of about a yard as the Chiefs continue to try to run. Beautiful stadium, isn't it?
This is a beautiful place. The whole complex.
And Giant Stadium in the Meadowlands.
And Shea Stadium in Flushing.
Maybe he did them all. 2nd and 9. Kinney wants it all. Oh! Carlos Carson had it on the opposite shoulder. He had to spin completely around, but it was one that he could have caught, knows he could have caught. Kenny held it a long time. He held it as long as he could, and he took a hammering after he released it.
Well, I tell you, a very interesting thing is you see that Carlos has never scored against the Raiders. He had his first one in his arms that time, but when you have to make an adjustment on the ball like that, just turn around, run as fast as you can, and try to turn the other way. You get a little dizzy, but he still should have caught that one.
Kenny had to throw it in that fashion because Carlos was actually well covered. 3rd down and 9. Carson goes left and out to the right. Top of your screen, Henry Marshall. 4 wide receivers. Stephon Page and Anthony Hancock are also at wide receiver for the Chiefs. Kenny. To Stephon Page. He bobbles the ball, but it goes out of bounds, so it'll be maintained by the Chiefs. And they have a first down. James Davis was there defensively, and again, great effort on the part of Kenny. He was under tremendous pressure coming right up the middle, and yet he found Stephon Page.
And Stephon Page had man-to-man coverage.
They like to go to Page when they get down close, too. He'll battle you for the football. 1st and 10 Chiefs, 21-yard line of the Raiders. Safety blitz. Kenny reads it perfectly. And it was Carlos Carson working against Haynes. Kenny hung it up.
Billy read it perfectly. He just didn't get the ball there. It was a good pattern, a good read, and a poor pass.
Well, I'll tell you, when you have great cornerbacks, you can do a lot of things defensively because you can leave them all alone with the Carlos Carsons. Carson might have had him beat just a bit, but to get the completion, Kenny would have had to have been absolutely dead perfect.
Well, look at Mike Haynes. He is, I think, the best cornerback in football. He has such instincts for the ball. He plays you like a guard in basketball, and when the ball's there, he's reaching for it.
And do they ever work him on defense? They leave him alone so often. As they do Lester Hayes up at the top of your screen. No, now they brought Hayes over on the right side. 2nd and 10. Herman Hurd. And Hurd inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. It'll be first down, goal to go. Good running by Hurd. He's not that big, but he can really throw football out of Southern Colorado are playing here tonight. And Dave Stalls, nose tackle for the Raiders, is also from Southern Colorado. First down, goal to go. Kenny wants to quiet things down. Hurd again. Hurd works close to the 6-yard line. It'll be 2nd down, goal to go. Chiefs trailing 7-3. We're in the second down, goal to go. Ball mark inside the 7-yard line. Hurt again. And sliding down, Bill Pickell. 4 down linemen now for the Raiders. And you get down here by throwing the ball, Joe. Now you put it on the ground.
Yes, and they really don't have a good rushing attack. We said last year when these two teams met.
Inside with a first down goal to go. They're notoriously tough down here. But I'll tell you, those cornerbacks play you so tight. Tough also to get it in the air. Oh, no. That's the rookie, Ethan Horton, coming out of the backfield, and there is no pass whatsoever designed for him to look over that shoulder. When you flare out of the backfield, you turn inside. Number one, you can see the defense, and Kenny had the ball there, and Horton just turned the wrong way.
I think Kenny may have thrown him a better pass if Mike Davis hadn't been in his face. Kenny took a pretty good lick from Mike Davis on that play. He was on a safety blitz.
So apparently the Chiefs are going to have to settle for a 3-point attempt. Lowry is on. Perfect thus far in the year. 5 for 5. Is hit earlier here this evening from 39 yards. And is successful once again. So Lowry, the game's most proficient field goal kicker in terms of accuracy in the league's history, is now 6 for 6 on the year. Both of them, of course, in the Western Division of the AFC, perhaps the toughest division in football. Nick Lowry hangs it high. Clee Montgomery gets the touchback in the end zone. Frank Gifford along with Joe Namath and O.J. Simpson. And one thing about it, when you watch these two teams play, the one thing you're sure of is you're going to see a hitting football game. To the Super Bowl, what a comeback that was. Hard times hit on him in 81. He was benched for Mark Wilson, 82 and 83. They brought him back last year. He became the starter at the end of the season after a lot of injuries last year. And here he is tonight. Marcus Allen, he holds on to this one. Gets about 4 out of it in the arms of Gary Spaney, the inside linebacker. Bring up 2nd down and 6. As the Chiefs had a 1st down and goal to go at the 7-yard line. Good defensive play thus far by the Raiders. Plunkett back again. Dumps it off over the middle. Marcus Allen. Allen upended. Held short of the 1st down. The ball is loose, but that ground to the turf cannot cause a fumble. Kevin Ross upending Marcus Allen.
You know, the last two defenses, the Chiefs have been in a 4-3 defense. Jeff Payne, their outside linebacker, injured his knee earlier, as we mentioned, so they put Pete Koch in the game.
Let's take a look at this play. What the Raiders are trying to do is get that short passing game going to bring up this zone defense so they can throw over it. Marcus Allen makes a fine move there, and you know Marcus is big on jumping over the pile on short yardage situations. Somebody's better tell him in open field, keep your feet on the ground.
Pete Koch is playing a defensive right end position at this time.
Marcus Allen on the sidelines. He was really shaken up.
He was trying to dive forward to get that 1st down. He came close, but he's about a half a yard away.
3rd down and 1. Of course, the first thing they ask you, and we have all been there, where are you? And there are times when I didn't have a clue. And I'm sure there are times you didn't, Joe, and you, O.J.
Hey, I told you about the time they told me, look at the scoreboard, and what do you see? Read the numbers. And I said, what scoreboard?
Right now, they are checking. He's been playing fullback for a couple of years. Frank Hawkins is now the starting fullback for the Raiders. 3 tight ends are in. Kenny King. Ball's loose. Chiefs have it. Kevin Ross, I think, is the one who gets the recovery. Yes. Kenny King coughed it up. He had the 1st down, and the Chiefs get the turnover. First turnover of the night.
Well, Kenny did a good job of fighting to get the 1st.
Took the ball out. You see why we have that reverse angle camera. You could not see that from this side of the field. Good work by our cameraman. 1st and 10, the Chiefs. First turnover of the ball game. They trail by 1, 7-6. Kenny wants the big one. Lester Hayes running stride for stride with Carlos Carson.
It's amazing to me, Joe, that a cornerback in the game today can play one-on-one an entire football game against receivers the caliber of Carlos Carson and Henry Marshall and do the job. And normally late in the game, these guys will start dominating. Now, here's Carlos. Now, normally with a guy this good with this much speed, you would think Lester would be bumping him at the line of scrimmage, but Lester's a smart defensive player. He mixes it up, and it works for him because he's right at the top when you talk about corners.
Lester Hayes' uniform always looks like he got it from welfare or something. Nothing, the shirt tail's always out. There are no knee pads. 2nd and 10. Flags are everywhere. Down goes Hurd. There's a loss of about 3 yards. As Rod Martin's indicating, there was illegal motion on the part of the Chiefs, and he's exactly right. One would suspect the Raiders will decline it because they have a 3-yard loss on the play itself. John Mackovic, who admires intelligence.
64, illegal motion. 99, lining up in the neutral zone, offset.
Offsetting penalty, so we'll do it all.
Gave birth to a boy, little boy Sunday. They named him Marcus. Believe me, not after Marcus Allen.
2nd down and 10 now for the Chiefs. Offsetting penalties. Stephon Pace, number 83, in motion. Hurd, there's a big opening, and he just about popped it.
Well, they caught number 61, Dave Stalls, in a slant on that play. They got right inside him, and it opened it up.
That's what you do to the Raiders when you're in deep yardage situations. You come with a trap block because they are thinking nothing but pass. And they weren't even thinking run, and boom, you get a play like this. Hurd pops through, and it'll be 3rd down and a long one. That produces 3 tight ends now for the Chiefs. They at least line up as though they are going to run the football. But you never know with the John Mackovic team. He likes to put it in the air. And it is a long one. They'll try it.
Oh!
Boy, and what a hit Matt Millen put on Hurd. That's why you think pass rather than run against the Raiders in short yardage. He's like a defensive lineman, as he was in Penn State, and he really puts a hit on Hurd.
As I said, this one may be for little Marcus.
Hurd did a good job of holding on to that football.
And also almost spun away from it. This one for the lead. Lowry has been successful. 2 for 2 tonight. This one will be from 42 yards. He's hit from 22 and 39. Just a phenomenal kicker. To take the lead. Dead. Solid. Perfect. Hard to believe that Lowry, the best in the game, was cut by Cincinnati, Washington, Baltimore, New Orleans, Tampa Bay, and San Diego, not to mention New England, before he arrived here. Oldham, of course, the rookie from Virginia that replaced Tom Condon, the veteran at right guard. Lowry really hangs one up. Seal will bring it out. Lowry had that ball almost as high as a punt. Lowry really pumped up. He's had 3 field goals on the night. And as I mentioned, I wonder what some of those teams are thinking about now that he tried out with. 17 points now.
By Greg Hill.
They're just playing that zone extremely deep to make them try to pick their way down the field, and thus far it hasn't been a successful strategy for the Raiders.
Hawkins and Allen. With Allen back in the game. They're the setbacks. And again, you see why we talked about the defense early on in this game, because you saw Bill Moss slide out there from nose tackle. 2nd-round draft pick out of Pittsburgh, and if you missed what we said earlier, all these 3 down linemen are #1 draft picks. All of them were selected with only 9 players collectively ahead of them in the NFL draft.
When you see Big Bill Moss, number 63, he is married to Marino's sister, you know, and he plays Marino next week for the first time. That should be interesting.
That's true. They do. I mean, they have a tough schedule. Then they turn right around and play the Raiders again. 2nd down and 11. Kenny King over the right side gets a little bit of the loss back and a couple more, so it'll bring up a 3rd down and 8. Let's take a look at Art Still. He's going against Big Henry Lawrence, number 70. And Art Still is 6'7", 260, Pro Bowler. And that's why you have the opening. 3rd down, passing situation for Plunkett. 3rd down, long 7. Ball at the Raiders' 24-yard line. Oh, no flag. Yeah, it's going to be a late flag. That was Jesse Hester, the rookie from Florida State. Deron Cherry got to him before the ball did. You saw it. No question about the call whatsoever. Cherry's not even questioning it.
Defense, number 34, pass interference. First down.
Here comes Hester. Boy, they have great plans for Hester with the Raiders. Ron Cherry. Pass interference. Hawkins, 27. Allen, 32. Setbacks for the Raiders. First down and 10. Plunkett, Christensen. Gets about 7 out of it. Down he goes in the arms of Burris.
The wise receiver, Christensen, he is a good one. He just found a dead spot in the zone defense that time and pulled up for that reception.
A typical Raider. Dallas drafted him in the second round as a running back out of Brigham Young. Stayed there a couple of years. They let him go. Giants had him. Let him go. Raiders picked him up. Turned him into a tight end. Had 92 receptions 2 years ago. 80 last year. Marcus Allen, right side. Picked up about a yard. That's all. Tough defensive football game tonight. It'll be third down at about 2.5. Art Still was at the bottom of that pile. I hope you're enjoying it. They play like this, and they have been for many years. Lamar Hunt, of course, one of the founders of the AFL. In 1960, this team was known as the Dallas Texans. They moved to Kansas City in '63. Played in 3 AFL Championships games and played in the first Super Bowl, losing to Green Bay 35-10. First player they ever drafted was Don Meredith in 1960. In trouble is Plunkett, and he gets out of it. Nope. Out of bounds. Plunkett does that so often. He's not that quick. He's not that fast. He's just very savvy. Dokie Williams could not come down with both feet in bounds. The Chiefs have one winning season in 11 years. They are very optimistic, however, about this year. Ray Guy, beautiful punt. Perfect spiral. It turns over. Lane from the 14-yard line. Well, Lane is showing me something tonight. He's made a couple of great efforts. Took an out-of-bounds kick away from Plunkett to do that, and we're delighted to be a part of it. Hope you're enjoying the game. 3:52 remaining in the first half, and Kansas City is on top 9-7. First and 10. The Chiefs at their own 25-yard line. Kinney ducked under a couple of Raiders, got rid of the ball, avoided the sack. It'll bring up second and 10. Sean Jones and Howie Long, they had so much speed build up, they ran right by him, O.J.
Well, I tell you what, I'm really a fan of this Bill Kinney's all of a sudden because
The bulldog, and he couldn't even hold him out. Second and 10. Kinney 7 of 18, 123 yards. He's been unable to get it into the end zone, however, having to settle for 3 field goals from in close. Ken Lacey, and Lacey will go down, drops the football, the ball's loose. There's a scramble. And the Raiders have it. The Raiders get a turnover. Take a look at it again. Lacey tried to turn it upfield. We'll show you from the reverse angle again because that's the best way you're going to see it.
Well, Joe, this may be the last time you'll ever hear me say this. It seems that Kansas City should have stayed with what got them this lead and been throwing the football. Instead, they try to run the football, and that's something that they haven't been so successful in doing in the past. And they coughed up the ball, and Van McElroy,
Pro Bowler a year ago, and you know he really doesn't get all the credit he should get because he plays with Mike Haynes and Lester Hayes, but he has been in the Pro Bowl for the last 2 years, very quietly and very successful back there at the free safety spot. So the Raiders get a break. First and 10. They're at the Chiefs' 31-yard line, and Plunkett goes to work immediately. Looks into the crease. He finds Dokie Williams. Albert Lewis made the stop, but that was his own defense, and Williams found the gap, and he was there.
They're doing some good hitting out here. Jim gets plenty of time to get this pass off by his offensive line. That's what it's going to take for both of these teams. If they want to throw the ball, they're going to have to get good protection.
Williams, who had a great day against the Jets last Sunday. 5 receptions, 131 yards, and a 41-yard touchdown. Gives the Raiders a first down inside the Chiefs' 20-yard line. Marcus Allen. He follows Frank Hawkins right up the gut, gets inside the 15, close to the 13. Gain of 6.
And now that's 6 yards that you would credit to your offensive line. And that run remind me of the Washington Redskins, not the ones we saw Monday, but they'll give you that big push, and the back, gets on those linemen's backs, and it's 6 easy yards.
2nd and 6. Plunkett got to Hester, and the rookie first-round draft pick from Florida State inside the 5. First down, goal to go. Kevin Ross, the defensive back, 5'9", 182 pounds, trying to cover him man for man. Hard to do.
It's somewhat surprising that they're this close to the goal line and they're still giving the Raiders this much cushion. I would have thought they would have been playing him a lot closer.
We will not get a playoff before the 2-minute warning, and Jim Plunkett will go over and talk with Tom Flores. What will we do from here, Coach? Tom Flores, who once played for these Kansas City Chiefs in '69 and '70 and has a Kansas City Chief Super Bowl ring from Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. The Raiders have a first down, goal to go. Nice reception by Jesse Hester against Kevin Ross, who was playing in from the end zone, and you can't do that and be successful. Raiders are down 9-7, threatening to take the lead, and they usually go to Marcus Allen here. Now they leave the one setback, Frank Hawkins. So we're going to put it in the air. Oh, fantastic catch by Todd Christensen.
All right.
One-handing it, caught it, and tipped it down. He was falling down when he caught the ball. Now that's an unbelievable reception. I think he was also interfered with. Todd Christensen gets it.
Well, this is not surprising to see Todd. They moved Marcus out. They tried to force Kansas City into a one-on-one situation. They got it. He forced his man inside. He came outside and did something he's been doing the last few years, made just one spectacular
I'll tell you, that is amazing what he did to concentrate on that ball. It's his 5th touchdown, by the way, against the Chiefs in the last 5 games. 6 games, rather. Chris Barr for the conversion. So the Raiders retake the lead. And I think what we have going is a typical Chief-Raider game. Back to the old days when they seesawed back and forth. Let's take a look at it again. An absolutely remarkable catch.
You know, Joe, you see guys before a game making one-hand catches, and you think they're hot dogging it.
You think they're hot dogging, but in this league, the pros, you know, they have to use one hand at a time sometimes. And this is a perfect example. Go ahead, Todd.
And look at Marcus Allen. He was screening Kevin Ross out, always thinking. Raiders have a lot of thinking players. They really do. Just the little subtle things you saw there. Marcus Allen screening Ross away from the play. Great effort by Christensen.
I tell you, I was surprised earlier. We saw an isolation of Art Steele, and it was a running play, and there was a hole open, and it was Todd Christensen that made the block. He was one-on-one on that block.
149th career touchdown pass for Jim Plunkett. He's passed for over 23,000 yards. He doesn't have a big percentage of completions because the Raiders will never have a quarterback with a large percentage of completions. They like to go with that bomb too often. They get picked off a lot. They get a lot of incompletions. They don't think in terms of controlling it with the passing game. They think in terms of beating you.
Both of these teams have done a good job of conserving their timeouts. They both have 3 left, and having 3 timeouts left, Kansas City certainly can get downfield and score.
Barr to kick off. Jeff Smith is deep. As Smith moves up, takes it to the 10. Smith, good running. The rookie from Nebraska out to the 30-yard line. Joe, you're dealing with 1 minute and 49 seconds. You have pretty good field position. What do you come with?
You really do. They have to throw the football. We've been saying it all evening long. They're not a good running football team. And with the 1:49 left and 3 timeouts left, that's plenty of time to score.
31-yard line. Good effort by Jeff Smith, who played in the shadow of Mike Rozier for 3 years in Nebraska. As a senior, heading for a big year. Tore up an ankle. Consequently, Kansas City got him as a 10th-round draft pick. On first down. Kenny under pressure once again, but he finds the receiver. It's Bruce King out of the backfield. Short of the first down, so we'll see hurry-up offense for the Chiefs. Greg Townsend was right in Kenny's face. 2nd down and 2. Kenny going short again, incomplete, stopping the clock.
Typical. I think Howie is probably the most held defensive lineman in football.
He almost is breaking Bob Rush's arm. Bob Rush has been holding him, though. We saw it earlier in a replay that we had. And on that particular occasion earlier, Howie Long once again was right in front of Bill Kinney's face. 2nd down and 12. That's the time remaining in the first half. Again, pressure on Kinney. Again, he's able to release the ball. And Carlos Carson was making sure that Lester Hayes did not get the interception, but there are no flags. Yeah, they really have liberalized what a defensive back and what an offensive receiver can do in this game.
Well, the way the Raider corners play, they don't look at the ball. They just play the man, much like a guard in basketball, and he's just screening his man, Joe.
Yeah, and the reason this wasn't called interference of any kind, the ball was tipped earlier. Anytime there's a tipped ball, it's a free ball.
Reggie McKenzie actually tipped it, the blitzing linebacker for the Raiders. 3rd down, long yardage. Bruce King, the single setback. They like him as a receiver out of the backfield, and Kinney will come from the shotgun. He'll be very careful with it. He doesn't want to turn it over. Blitz on again. Oh, magnificent pass and a great reception. 1st down at the 45-yard line. It also killed the clock with 1:14. What a great play.
Once again, Carson gives Lester Hayes no indication the ball is coming. Ted's get to it arrives.
I'm sure they coach that. I'm sure they practice it when they know they're going to play the Raiders, because we talked about it throughout the course of the game. Those Raider cornerbacks, Lester Hayes and Mike Haynes, they look that receiver man for man right in the eyes. When he starts to get big-eyed, I guess, and those hands start to go up, that's when they look for the ball. And Carson really handled Hayes beautifully on that play. On 1st down. Kinney underneath is complete. Horton, the rookie 1st-round pick out of North Carolina, short of the 1st down. 1:03 remaining in the clock. Is moving now. Bill Kinney wants a timeout. The score 14-9. The Raiders over the Chiefs. We have 1 minute remaining in the first half. 2nd down and 6. The Chiefs at the 45-yard line, or rather the 41-yard line of the Raiders. Kinney back again. Looking deep. And Herman Hurd couldn't get there. Hurd working against Mike Davis. Defensive players better than perhaps any team in football. They put them where they are the most effective. Sometimes they take them from one position, put them in another one. Bill Kinney trying to get deep. Incomplete. Trying to get it to Henry Marshall. Good coverage. Lester Hayes is back there, and Van McElroy, who roams around as a free safety. 3 already tonight. And this one will be from 58 yards. That would match his career best. Is perfect on the season.
That ball would have been good from 70 yards.
He might be the man Sunday to break Tom Dempsey's record of 63 yards set in 1970. He's getting close. He really hammered that one. Tied the team record. Lowry hangs it very high and short to Seal. Kicked it farther than that on the field goal. Seal out of bounds at the 27-yard line. Let's take a look at it again. I don't want to credit Lowry with playing the wind, but it certainly looked like he did. I'm sure he was just getting everything he had into it. Now, it went out for a moment, and then it came dead, solid, perfect. Ooh, he's something. Big man, too. You don't see him. You don't want to turn it over. You have the lead. The crowd is fired up, but nevertheless, the Raiders still have a 14-12 lead. Marcus Allen. He can turn a little one into a big one quickly. Stopped at the line of scrimmage, however.
Now, that was a draw play. Good defense that time.
I remind you at halftime, interesting words from Pete Rose, who broke Ty Cobb's record last night. Take a look at American football as it was played over in London. Tom Flores wants to go in with the lead. Can't blame him. Seesaw series for the last 26 years. If you got the lead, let's keep it, huh? There it is. That's the end of the first half. Hard-hitting game, a typical Kansas City Chief and Los Angeles Raider game. We'll be back with our halftime activity. And Barr slices one through the end zone. It'll be a touchback in Kansas City. We'll have the football out of the 20-yard line. Now let's take a look at the first half stats. Interestingly enough, no penalty yards tonight against the Raiders, and they usually are the most penalized team. And as you can see, it's very close. Kansas City trailing in total yards. And at the half, Kansas City had overtaken the Raiders, and they actually leading in total yards. Very close, hard-hitting defensive game on the part of both football teams, as we thought it would be from the very outset. Kansas City with the football. Two setbacks. Herman Hurd, 44. Bruce King, 46. The wide receivers, 89. Marshall, 88. Carson. The tight end, Walt Arnold, 87. That's Arnold. The Chiefs open the game, throwing the ball to Arnold, and Arnold comes back with another first down here in the second half. A 13-yard pickup. Rod Martin made the stop. Arnold gets the first down out to the 33-yard line. Arnold traveled around this league a little bit.
He's traveled around all right, but Coach Makovic's really high on him. You know, a lot of people don't realize how much speed this man has, but he runs a 40 in less than 4.5.
A tight end?
That's right. That's what Coach Makovic said.
That's right. He said he was amazed that when they picked him up, they got him from Washington, when Washington released him, that he had that kind of speed. First down, Herman Hurd, right side. Howie Long misses the one that might have put Herman Hurd into a new occupation. Whoa, what a shot he was aiming at Hurd. Mike Davis makes the tackle after a 3-yard pickup. Looking ahead, and is only a remote possibility, but Jim Bakken set the NFL record for field goals with the Cardinals, and he was a great kicker indeed. For a single game, he kicked 7. Philip Kinney, in the first half, 10 of 24, 159 yards. Plunkett was 12 of 14, 101 yards. Kinney doesn't like what he sees, changes it up, readjusts his backfield, flips it out to Hurd. I'm sure he didn't like that either. Mike Davis was right up there, almost in the backfield. He got help from Rod Martin. No gain. It'll be third down and long.
That's one of the few times you'll see Kansas City line up in the I formation. Their number one draft choice is a guy named Ethan Horton, and he's an I formation back, and that's one of the reasons he hasn't started yet. He doesn't run out of the split back that well, but I think before the end of the season, and certainly next year, you'll see Makovic start running that I formation.
4 wide receivers, third down and 8. Stephon Page, Anthony Hancock joined Marshall and Carson. Kinney, a lot of time trying to get deep against Lester Hayes once again. This time Hayes right with Carson. Flag is down. They were bumping and pushing. Hayes is saying no, but Carlos Carson has been the primary deep receiver working against Hayes all night for Kansas City. Hayes has done a fine job, although Carson has caught a couple of big ones.
Well, I'm sure we're going to see a replay, and what you're going to have to do is take a look at the right arm of Lester Hayes, and let's see who initiated the contact, all right? They tried to hit each other. Now, both of them will start well, it looked, well.
That was hooking. They could have called it. They were going to call it. It's very close. They have not been calling the ones that are worse thus far this season. Lester Hayes very incensed about it, but the call stands. Pass interference against Lester Hayes. First and 10, the Chiefs at the 36-yard line. 29-yard pickup. Hurd once again. Hurd is popped by big Matt Millen, former defensive end at Penn State, whom the Raiders turned into one of the hardest-hitting linebackers against the run in the league. Not going to rush for too many yards, as much as they would like to against the Raiders. Lowry warming up again. What a night he's having. In case you joined us late, he's kicked 4 field goals. One from 42, one from 58, one from 22, and one from 39. He's provided all the scoring. Raiders over the Chiefs. They're in the third quarter, 14-12. Second and long. Kinney. Wide open. Carson. Hayes slipped. Down he went. And now he is really incensed.
I tell you.
He is going to have to be very careful, or he could be out of the ball game.
Carson gave him one heck of an inside move, and we'll have to see it on replay to see if he pushed him down or not. But he certainly gave him a heck of an inside move here.
He is complaining that on the inside move, Carson, well, I don't think so. I think Hayes made it look awfully good, too.
Well, I think when he pushed them, their feet sort of got tangled, and Lester went down.
First down inside the 15-yard line. That's Hayes arguing with Jimmy Roser, the back judge, to no avail. Hurd, right side, runs into Howie Long and then bounces forward for a couple of yards.
Isn't it amazing how Howie Long is always in the backfield?
Always around the football, no matter whether it's run or pass.
There was speculation a few years ago if he was the best or if Mark Gastineau was the best. I think around the league now it's pretty well accepted by everyone that Howie Long is the premier defensive lineman in the game today.
Yeah, I wonder if Kansas City is going to go back to the run down here once again. They have gained 42 yards tonight on 16 rushing attempts. They kept down here early in the second quarter, and they tried to run the ball down here. They ran it twice, and then, of course, got themselves instantly into a pass situation, and the Raiders forced them to settle for a field goal. They did that twice. Now they have opened this drive inside the 15 with a running play. Let's see what they do. To the air, Bill Kinney. And trying to get the ball, Henry Marshall, and he's in a duel with Mike Haynes. This could go against either one. Van McElroy and Haynes both arguing. So it's obviously going to work against the Raiders. Yes, it does. Side judge Dave Parry called this one. This is what's going to happen in liberalized pass interference rules. When we look at it from the reverse angle. Well, I don't think there's any question about that. Mike Haynes knocked Marshall flat. First down, goal to go. Kenny trying to quiet the crowd. Hancock up at the top of the screen, and the Chiefs are going to stay in the air. They're tired of that running. Oh, and he was wide open. Willie Scott, and overthrown.
Oh,
and Kenny is on the turf. Oh, he is hurt, and obviously seriously. The backup, of course, Todd Blackledge. The more important thing, the seriousness of Kenny's injury. That's Blackledge. We told you about him earlier. First-round draft pick, Mackovic. First year after an All-American season at Penn State.
Well, we won't see it real well. As we said earlier, the Raiders was getting to Kenny quite often. They're hitting him, and it looks like it's Matt Millen. It appears as if his helmet may have hit him right in the sternum.
Now they continue to work with Bill Kenny, and hopefully it's just the air knocked out of him, and that could be the case because there's nothing quite like it, and I'm quite sure it's the case now. There's nothing quite like it. If you've never experienced it, it is really painful.
You know, while we're having this timeout, I'd like to make a point. We saw Lester Hayes get upset there a little while ago and throw his helmet to the turf. Now, you younger football players out there, remember that helmet's helping you. You have to control yourself. Keep your temper. They had to take Lester Hayes out of the football game for 2 plays there, and that may have helped Kansas City get down the field. You have to learn to control yourself a little better than that.
Bill Kenny's coming off, and I'm quite certain that it was just the wind knocked out of him, but in any event, Todd Blackledge comes in. He started quite a few games last year, 9 of them to be exact, because of the broken thumb on the part of Bill Kenny. Had a great career, was a first-round draft pick in '83, and set to go. Second down, and goal to go. To run, as we've mentioned before. Rod Martin makes the stop, and if anything, there's a loss on the play. Now we see Bill Kenny come back into the lineup. Something about a twisted back that I think, quite frankly, it was the wind knocked out of him.
On that last play, they may have been trying to run away from Howie Long. The only problem with when you try to do that with the Raiders, you got to run towards someone. In that case, they ran towards Rod Martin, and he's an all-pro.
I'm sure Mackovic called that play, running play. Didn't want Blackledge putting it up in the air with a cold arm. He knew Kenny was coming back, and he'll put this one in the air. Third down, goal to go. Timing pattern, and Lester Hayes was in front of Henry Marshall. They are bitterly complaining again. Marshall this time. Lester Lester Hayes is really in the thick of it tonight.
Well, normally when you pick on Lester Hayes in the long run, you're going to pay for it. They're picking on Lester a little bit, but this is why Lester is one of the premier backs in the league. This is a beautiful play. His back is to the quarterback. I mean, to the ball, rather. And all he did was play the receiver, play the receiver's reaction.
Would you believe? A fifth field goal attempt. He was 4 for 4 last week. If he makes this one, he was Jan Stenero's record. Great kicker. He was still actively pursuing a career. He would tie his record of 5 in a single game, and that's just a chip shot from 21 yards out. And Lowry now has provided all the points, 5 field goals, and the Chiefs are on top by 1, 15-14 here in the third quarter. Feathercleave, Montgomery is deep for the Raiders. Sam Seal is also back there. Nick Lowry to kick off, and what a night Lowry is having. Former Ivy Leaguers from Dartmouth. 5 for 5. And does he ever kick off well, too? Kicks it deep, but he also gets it so high, the special team can get down under it. Oh. Sam Seal and Ken Jolly was down there providing the collision. We're going to pause 5 seconds and allow our station all along the line to identify themselves.
This is WABC TV, New York.
Hard-hitting football game. Raiders and Kansas City Chiefs from Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. 15-14. Kansas City leading here in the third quarter. And it has been seesaw all the way. The Raiders scored first. They took a 7-0 lead. 3 Lowry field goals. Put Kansas City on top. The Raiders came back. Got a touchdown pass from Plunkett. A miraculous catch by Christensen to lead 14-9. 2 more Lowry field goals. And it's Kansas City on top by 1. And a typical game. Lots of hitting. Plunkett is back to the Raiders on 1st and 10. Fires, and it gets it in once again to Christensen. The real control man for the Raiders. And does he work a secondary and linebacker? As good as anyone at that position in the game.
Again, the Kansas City Chiefs are a little bit out of their defensive plan, I think, because of the injury earlier to Jeff Plain. They're playing 4 down linemen, even though they're continuing to play an odd man front, but only with 3 linebackers.
Here we go. At 2nd down and 4. Dan Plunkett at 37 years of age. Steps back in the pocket. Underthrows Marcus Allen. And he was open.
You know, sometimes when a receiver is so open, the quarterback just is a little tentative, you know. He just takes a little bit off of it, and you see what happens.
You don't want to do it at home, though, do you, Joe? Then you hear the crowd. You'd have thought playing football was difficult. He's going down.
Number 65. Holding. Still 2nd down.
I tell you what's interesting to me, Kansas City, obviously they're playing a deep zone, but this is probably the longest I've ever seen any Raider team in Oakland or in L.A. go without throwing a bomb.
Mickey Marvin. He was guilty for the Raiders. 2nd down and 15. Marcus Allen. Good move by Allen, cutting back inside, out over the 25-yard line, short of the 1st down, but that was not where the hole was designed. Marcus saw the gap and split it.
Well, it's not a bomb. Maybe it's a grenade. Little Marcus, you give him a ball in a passing situation, running back pray for that. It's a passing situation. Give me the ball. Give me a little running room, and Marcus hasn't had much running room here tonight.
What's the best thing about him, O.J.?
Well, he sees so well, and he does it so well, and he has good legs, and he's a smart runner. He's always going upfield.
3rd down and 2 for the Raiders. Plunkett with a lot of time. Puts it in a crowd over the middle, trying to get it to Allen. And Allen is dueling with Lloyd Burris. The Chiefs win that one. Out comes the punting team. There's Burris. Crowd on their feet. They sold 75,000 seats for tonight. Back to the days of Lynn Dawson, Otis Armstrong, Jim Kyer, all the great names, Bobby Bell, and there were winning years here in Kansas City. Whoa, and what a kick by Ray Guy. Caught it breeze, and he took Garcia Lane back to the 15-yard line, and Lane brings it out to the 30. Good hit by Stacey Curran of the Raiders. The Chiefs bring out their offensive unit. They'll have a 1st and 10 at their own 30. Midway through the third quarter, Kansas City going against the Los Angeles Raiders. The Chiefs on top by 1. And it has been a back-and-forth football game that has brought this partisan crowd to their feet many, many times, as these two teams have on so many occasions, putting on a very close game. Even though the Raiders have defeated Kansas City 5 consecutive times, they have been very close football games. 17-7 last year, 22-20 last year. Chiefs now with the first down. The ball at their own 30-yard line. Kenny back in, only went out for one play after being shaken up. This is Herman Hurd, and Hurd finds an opening, cuts it back off to the right side and gets 8 yards out of it before Jeff Barnes makes the stop. Good way to watch it from the end zone.
Obviously, it's a nice draw play here. Hurd did a good job of finding the hole, got a good block from his fullback.
And a good
Bruce
block
King.
from Rush working against Howie Long.
And that was a classic example with the rule changes, how the offensive linemen can stick their arms off and push the players away.
Exactly what Rush did to Howie Long. Very well read by Hurd. 8-yard pickup. We're going to run this ball if we have to try all night. Hurd breaks one off for a first down out close to midfield before Van McElroy takes Hurd out of bounds.
Well, I said at the top of the show, I like this kid. He's been somewhat overlooked. No one has said much about him. He didn't have a spectacular year last year. He only gained 600 and some yards, but that's from a team that really doesn't run the ball and doesn't really think about running the ball.
Actually, he was leading rusher last year, but only to 684 yards. That doesn't seem like anything anymore nowadays. First and 10. Hurd on the night, 44 yards, 15 attempts. He's worked hard. Hurd once again on the flat. Turns back into the middle, runs into Bill Pickell. Again, a reminder, college football, the CFA, Saturday, UCLA goes against Tennessee. UCLA, of course, that's the team to beat Brigham Young and stop their 25-game winning streak last Saturday. Or some of the country is going to see Brigham Young and their quarterback, Robbie Bosco, a Heisman candidate this year, and they'll be going against the University of Washington. Saturday here on ABC. Got a 2-yard pickup on that pass to Hurd. It'll be second down and 8. The ball near the 47-yard line of the Raiders. Kenny, a lot of time. That's unusual. And he gets it to Walt Arnold. Arnold had the first down and then was dropped back at the 40-yard line, but they will give him progress to the 38 first down Chiefs.
Arnold made a terrific catch that time. This ball is tipped at the line of scrimmage. Arnold keeps his eye on it and makes a good catch. I had dinner last night with Richard Williams, the receiver coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, and he's really high on this tight end, Arnold, as Makovic was this morning.
Richard Williamson. He caught your first touchdown pass at the University of Alabama against Georgia. He's the offensive receiver coach here for the Chiefs. Frank. Do a little homework. Remember how old I am? Gotta get off my back. First and 10. Horton. Number 1 draft pick out of North Carolina.
He's a big kid, too. He's 6'3", 229 pounds. Did a good job of shaking off one All-Pro, Howie Long, but the other All-Pro, Ron Martin, brought him down.
Great career he had at North Carolina. He actually came to North Carolina as a quarterback, and as a freshman, they ran out of tailbacks, and they put him in against Maryland, having never played that position. He gained 94 yards, and that was it.
But, you know, Frank, he's an eye back, much like Earl Campbell and Charles White. And Charles White is back in that eye formation of John Robinson's and had a decent game last week.
They're usually not good receivers, however, but Horton, according to John Makovic, is a fine receiver. The Chiefs, second down and 8. Kenny with a bad pass to Horton that time. You can see on Kenny's face, he didn't like it either. Repeat again, we talked about all the teams that passed up on Lowry. Well, it was Miami who actually drafted Kenny in the next to last player of the draft. That's hard to believe. 7 years ago, they cut him. He went up, tried out with Washington. They cut him. He was out of football for a year before he came to Kansas City as a free agent in 79. Third and 8 from the shotgun. 4 wide receivers. Hancock and Page join Carson and Marshall. Here comes the rush. That is Stephon Page, and credit all of that to the offensive line and the backs of the Chiefs, who picked up the blitz and gave Kenny time to work to the receiver Page, who because of the blitz, was one-on-one.
He was one-on-one with James Davis, and he ran a crossing pattern. He beat Davis initially at the line, and running that crossing pattern, Davis is in the chase position all the way.
You saw the blocking, the center picking up Rod Martin, the linebacker on the blitz. Kinney with a lot of time. Got it in there. First and 10, 25-yard line of the Raiders. 5:05 remaining in the third quarter. The Chiefs over the Raiders 15-14. Again, Kinney with a lot of time. Carson! This time he beat Mike Haynes. Carson is having another big night.
And I'll tell you just why he did beat him. That was a strong safety blitz by Mike Davis, and it was one-on-one coverage again. He just flat out ran him.
And
a good read by Kenny.
And again, good blocking, good coordinated read by Carson and Kinney.
I tell you, these receivers, they've been taught so well. They do a little subtle thing there. I watched that play, and you watch Carson. Down around the 10-yard line, he'll lean into Mike Haynes just enough to get Mike Haynes off him, and he fades away, and it's a beautifully thrown ball.
Carson at 176 yards, 2 touchdowns last Sunday against New Orleans on 8 receptions. Tonight, he has 118 yards already on 5 receptions, and you just saw him extend the Chiefs' lead. Lowry for the conversion. He's been perfect all season. Chiefs fans love it. And Kansas City goes on top, 22-14. Perfectly thrown ball. Had his second best game last Sunday against New Orleans. 397 yards, 3 touchdowns, 65%. You saw what he's done here already tonight. Meanwhile, the Raiders pulling out their stops. They dropped Goki Williams deep, stand him at the goal line. Now, he used to do this when he was with the UCLA Bruins. As a wide receiver this year, they took him off that duty, but they know he does it ever so well. And he takes it at the 2-yard line. The Chiefs hustle down. Jerry Blanton on a big stop for the Chiefs. So now the Raiders have to pull it together and get it back on track. Chiefs going right at the Raiders' 2 all-pro cornerbacks, and they've been doing it all night, in case you haven't been with us. They've been sending Carson against Lester Hayes. They've been sending him against Mike Haynes.
Well, offensively, the Raiders' offensive line has done a very good job in pass protection. I'm surprised the Raiders haven't been more effective throwing the ball.
Jim Plunkett brings the Raiders up. Plunkett loses the football. It's free, and the Chiefs have it. Art Still covers it. The big defensive end at the 5-yard line, and these fans are out of their minds.
They were doing a good job.
Partner in crime, Art Still covers the ball. First down, goal to go. Let's see if they put it right in the air or go back and try and run it. This is King. They're at the 5-yard line. That was Herman Hurd, brother. It'll be second down, goal to go. Hurd gets about 1.5 yards. John Makovic, former head coach at Wake Forest, assistant coach at Arizona, assistant coach at West Point, a couple of years under Tom Landry. Very polished young man. Second and goal. Kenny with a lot of time. And Henry Marshall was the intended receiver, and I don't know what happened. And then this is Mike Haynes. He looks as though the wind is knocked out of him.
Well, Mike had a shot at intercepting the ball. Marshall did a good job trying to shake the ball out of Mike Haynes' hands. And on the other side, Van McElroy came, and I think he hit Mike Haynes. Mike Haynes had a perfect bead on an interception here. Now, he'll go up, he'll have it. Marshall does a good job of knocking the ball away from him. And bingo, he gets hit by his own man.
I think, was that Lester Hayes or Mike Davis? I think he just caught him with an elbow right in the stomach, and he appears to be all right. It'll be third down, goal to go. Mike Haynes, 10-year veteran, one of the best who's ever played it. So many Pro Bowls. Let's watch Carson now. He's getting it on again with Lester Hayes. This has been going on all night, if you haven't been with us. Lester Hayes and Carlos Carson, who's having another big night after a sensational Sunday against New Orleans. 3rd and goal. Stephon Page in with Carson and Henry Marshall. Bruce King will be the single setback. Lowry warming up on the sideline. He's already hit on 5. Time for Kenny. Did he get it in? Yes. Possession.
Page.
Touchdown, Stephon Page. They like him down here. I said it earlier. They like him when they get down close.
Well, you can
battle for the ball.
You can almost feel that they were going to go to him because the Raiders are covering these guys one-on-one, and when you got Lester Hayes and Mike Haynes, well, they're great one-on-one coverage guys, but these other guys, who knows?
End of the night, Page had 61 receptions, but 10 of those receptions were for touchdowns. This is his 11th touchdown. Good pass by Kenny. Kept it out of harm's way. Page was able to collect it, and the Chiefs are stretching the lead. The holder is still Kenny, and he's one of the best at that. And any kicker will tell you how important it is. Kansas City over the Raiders, 29-14. They haven't won in 5 games. For the Raiders, Sam Field and Clee Montgomery. Nick Lowry to kick off. Nick Lowry, who scored 17 points already tonight. He scored 17 against New Orleans. Here we are with another quarter to be played in the second game of the season. He has 34 points. Oh, wow. And this time it looks like a punt. He gets it so high. What a weapon Nick Lowry has been tonight. What a weapon he is, period. Had a great season a year ago. 23 at 33, Pro Bowl kicker for the AFC. And here comes Jim Plunkett. Plunkett got the Raiders on the scoreboard first tonight. Frank Hawkins scoring for 1 yard out. Then Lowry kicked 3 consecutive field goals to take the lead. Then it was Plunkett to Christensen to make it the Raiders 14-9. Christensen with that great catch. And then Lowry, another couple of field goals. And then Kenny got hot, hit Carson. And then Kenny hit Stephon Page a few moments ago. Kansas City leads 29-14. Couple of minutes remaining in the third quarter. Marcus Allen on first down, and he is hammered by Gary Spaney. That hurts the running back. With a shot in the back like that.
Well, that was a classic case of why the Raiders historically have not been a good running team for halfbacks. They like the big offensive linemen. Most of their guards are former tackles, and they really don't pull that well. And Marcus had to wait for his guard. In that case, it was Charlie Hanna to pull up into the hole.
Good point. They draft him and build him for pass blocking. And they are huge. 2nd and 8. Plunkett, Christensen. He'll be close to a first down. They mark it short inside the 30 near the 29. It'll be 3rd down and 1. Lloyd Burris defensively. There's Al Davis, the managing general partner and owner of the Los Angeles Raiders. Looking on. One of the great football minds this game has ever known. Really innovative in so many ways. I talked earlier about the way he has juggled personnel. Todd Christensen, a perfect example. A running back when the Cowboys and Giants had him. Couldn't make their clubs. Now he's an outstanding tight end. With Matt Millen, a defensive end. Turned him into a linebacker. Here's Marcus Allen. He does surge for the first down. It was Radisek getting in there first, but Marcus Allen with a second effort will keep the Raiders alive on this drive.
I am impressed with the way the Kansas City defensive front is playing football. They are normally a 3-4 defensive football team. They're playing the odd man front still, but they have 4 down linemen. That's not their normal defensive plan.
Raiders' first down is just out over their own 30-yard line. Plunkett looks it over. Plunkett, wide open, is Jesse Hester, the rookie first-round draft pick out of Florida State. They like him a lot in the Raiders camp this summer. I think he Well, obviously they think a lot of him because they were willing to trade starter Malcolm Barnwell to Washington because of Hester's play in training camp and the emergence of Dokie Williams as a genuine superstar.
Clock is ticking. The Raiders are going to have to go up top for the bomb sooner or later, and I think it's going to happen pretty soon.
On first down, Marcus Allen. Good move by Allen. And Allen inside Chief territory at the 49-yard line before he's dropped there by Kevin Ross and Albert Lewis. Short of the first down. But what a move Marcus Allen put on Kevin Ross. Almost took him out of his shoes. Raiders trying to get back into it here in the third quarter. The Chiefs with 17 unanswered points. We're in the final minute of the third period. Second down, a long two. Hawkins held short of the first. This is a fired-up Kansas City defensive unit.
And that was Art Steele, one of the reasons he led this team in tackles last year.
Pro bowler, he has had a remarkable career. Second player taken in the draft in 1978. No tackle, Moss, he was the fifth player in the 84 draft. Mike Bell was the second player in the 79 draft. Those are really blue chippers. As little Al Locasell likes to say. That's the end of the third quarter. The Raiders love to come from behind. The Raiders have won 10 of the last 15 games in which they trail at the halftime. Now that's a 67% winning combination. And the league average is 22%. I mean, they seem to play better when they get behind. Though what you don't want to do is let up on them. Right now, as we begin the fourth quarter, the Raiders have a third down and 3. And what fun the Raiders have been over the history of Monday Night Football. By far the winningest team on Monday Night Football. And for that matter, primetime football here on ABC. And so many of them, thrilling games. You recall the Ken Stabers, the Biletnikoffs, some of the great names of the world of pro football. Third and 3. Marcus Allen started to go over the top, but he didn't have to. O.J. was going to do a little fly like he likes to do on short yardage, and there was a big opening.
Well, sometimes, you approach that offensive line and you're ready to take off, and you get a little push, or you take a couple of extra steps, and you just have a longer runway.
You know, earlier O.J. mentioned the chance that the Raiders would go deep. What Kansas City wants to do right now is not allow them to go deep. So Jim's going to have to be Plunkett's going to have to be patient and go underneath here.
On first down, Raiders trying to get back into it here in the fourth quarter. Plunkett with a lot of time. Christensen open for a moment, but he was in between defenders. Lloyd Burris slow getting up for the Chiefs.
Yeah, the Chiefs are laying back there. They're going to try to prevent the long gain or the long bomb. I think the Raiders are going to have to be a little more patient.
Let's take a look at the halftime numbers. Kansas City with a trailing at that point 14-12. Still has the edge in the yardage. And now they've really expanded that edge over the Raiders. And not to mention the lead. They lead 29-14. Early moments here in the fourth quarter. Second down and 10. Plunkett, he'll run it. And hook slide short of the first down at about the 37-yard line. That'll bring up third down and a passing situation once again for Plunkett. It'll be third down and about 4.
We almost got an opportunity to see a ruling on one of our new rules this year. When the quarterback hook slides down to the ground, they're not supposed to get hit. There's someone coming up there tried to give Plunkett an hello.
Kind of hard to stop. 260, 70 pounds when you have it moving. Third and 4. Plunkett with a good effort gets it to Allen, but Allen is covered by Lloyd Burris. Good defensive play. A good effort on the part of Plunkett. Too early in the game, I think, to think about going on fourth down.
I don't know. The defense, they're going to have to start getting to Kenny. They need 3 scores to win this football game. If I was them, I think I'd start thinking about going on fourth down.
And that apparently is exactly what Tom Flores is going to do. Early moments of the fourth quarter and trailing 29-14. Tom Flores, former record-setting quarterback for these Raiders, who's been with the organization for 20 years, says we'll go for it. quite frankly, I don't think has ever got the credit he deserves. And it could be they're just going to try and draw him offside. No, they're going. Plunkett fires it to Williams. He's short of the first down, I believe. It's going to be close again, dependent upon where they mark it. Mike Bell had Jim Plunkett on the way down. It'll be close. Plunkett. An intense look on his face as they get ready to bring the sticks out.
Hester did a terrific job of holding on that ball. That was a heck of a lick he took.
Short of the first down by that much. Lloyd Burris with the shot to Dokey Williams.
Dokey Williams, excuse me, I said Hester. Dokey did a good job of holding on the ball, but it wasn't good enough. KC gets the ball.
And they now will have a chance to maybe play around a little more with their running game. They want to develop a running game, but they have had a difficult time over the past, certainly the past 5 games, with moving the ball at all against the Raiders on the ground.
Well, yeah, I talked to Makovic, Coach John Makovic, and he mentioned how what he wants this team to do is understand the passing game, and he will start trying to develop that running game a little later, but they understand one facet of the game. Once again, I'll harpen back to the 49ers of 1981. They were a team that was a great passing team, not a great running team, but right now they're one of the finest running teams in football also. You have to take one facet of the game at a time.
Reminder, as they stop the Raiders short on a 4th and 4, and one has to wonder whether that was a well-advised call this early in the 4th period. On first down, Kinney, Herman Hurd, and he was wide open, and a good move by Hurd. Matt Millen missed short, which would have held Hurd short of the first down. Nifty little runner.
This play works right now. It's a zone coverage. It works simply because the linebackers lose Hurd with the offensive lineman and defensive lineman. He sneaks out late. The linebackers took a deep drop about 15 yards, and Hurd was able to get the ball and make a run.
It's a good play to go call against the Raiders, a pass rushing team. They did it in the first quarter, Kansas City did, and had a very successful effort then. On first down. Here's Hurd again, and Hurd to midfield. Hit first by Pratt Van Pelt. Hurd with a couple of yards. It'll bring up second down and 8. Kansas City last year, and I wonder why we keep talking about how they're working on their running game. Well, they were next to last in the entire league running the football. You have to look for a little improvement over that if you're going to get into the playoffs and do anything with it. Interesting, isn't it?
Well, it's not that interesting. If you follow these two teams over the last few years, most of their games have been low-scoring, defensive-style games.
Second and 8. Hurd once again staying on his feet, surging up close to the 45-yard line, short of the first down by about 3.5 yards. Bill Pickell tripping up Hurd.
Jim's trying to figure out, I'm sure, how he's going to get this team back in the game. We were talking earlier about Kansas City not giving up the deep pass, and I mentioned I think Jim's going to have to be patient early under the coverage passes.
Hey, he's not been able to go up top like they like to do, the Raiders. That either is by design because of Kansas City's defense, or maybe they just felt they couldn't do it. Here's Horton. That one batted away by Matt Millen.
You know, the Raiders do have the history of going deep, and they want to go deep. I just think Kansas City's taking the deep ball away from them.
Well, we saw it happen Monday night when you saw a running team. What they like to do, they got out of their comfort zone. They like to run on first down. Dallas took that away from Washington, and Kansas City has done the same thing on the passing game against the Raiders here tonight.
That's Clay Montgomery deep for the Raiders. Arnold to punt. Puts it up high, looking for the coverage. And it bounds into the end zone. Touchback. And the Raiders will get the football back at their own 20-yard line. 10:18 remaining in the game. Kansas City, the Chiefs on top of the Raiders, 29-14. Very important game for these two ball clubs. Of course, both of them being in the Western Division of the AFC. And a tough division it is with Denver, and, of course, Seattle and San Diego. Raiders first down and 10. They need one here. Don Mosbar is the center for the Raiders now in relief of Dave Dalby. Plunkett drops the football. Still is there. I've seen that happen, Joe. So often it happens, quite frankly.
And it's very frustrating. You know, the football gets wet. These quarterbacks, they're accurate throwers, and they have good hands, but you get the ball from center sometime, there's a lot of sweat on it. You can't get a good grip on it, so very often you miss your receiver because the ball slips out of your hand. Here, the ball just slipped out of Jim's hands before he threw the ball. It's obviously wet.
Moss is all the way back to the 8-yard line. Second down and 23. And what do you do down here? Get yourself out of it. You don't try to get it all back. Lost it again. There's a scramble for it, and they're still scrambling. Is it out of the end zone? Out of the end zone, it'd be a safety. Now they're indicating touchdown. Albert Lewis appears to be the Kansas City Chief on the football, and twice in a row we had pointed out that Mosbar had come in at center. I don't know whether that had any impact upon the two bobble balls, two consecutively bobble balls.
You really
actually lost the first one, but this one he lost on the exchange.
You really don't get to work with your backup center that much during the week, and this very well could have been the reason for the fumble.
Jim never had it.
It was in his hands. It just slipped out.
Plunkett scrambles for it, but Albert Lewis comes up with it. And the Chiefs, who haven't been able to defeat the Raiders in 5 consecutive games, are looking mighty good.
I thought that ball was out of the end zone.
Well, when they got control of it, they seemed to be out of the end zone. I mean, out of bounds.
Dick Lowry with the conversion. And a fight breaks out down on the field. And cooler heads prevail. Both teams winners in their first game. Chiefs looking to go 2-0, as are the Raiders. Matt Millen challenging the entire Chief ball club. I'm not so sure he can handle them. We'll be back. The Chiefs have now scored more points against the Raiders than they have in the last 19 meetings. The crowd is really into it. Lowry set to kick off. Lee Montgomery, number 28. Sam Seal back position at about the 3-yard line. Lowry kicks it so high and long. Lee Montgomery, and he's hit at the 15, sprawls to the 17. It'll be first down Raiders. I want to introduce you to a young man that sang the national anthem tonight. This is Theodis Brown, who was with the Kansas City Chiefs for the past couple of years, with the Cards prior to that out of UCLA. Great young man. They love him here in the organization. Last February, Theodis suffered a heart attack. He's out this season. Hopefully he's going to be able to come back. We certainly hope so. Did a good job with the national anthem.
Otis said that's probably why they're winning. He says Kansas City is undefeated every time he sung the national anthem.
And how many times?
Once. Today was the first time. And this one's not over, but it may be over, Theodis.
9:37 remaining in the game. The Raiders with the football. First and 10. They're on 17-yard line. Plunkett, Frank Hawkins. Kevin Ross is there first.
Well, I'm afraid that these receivers are going to take a beating right now from the Raiders, because Kansas City is not going to allow them to throw deep at all, and they're going to come up and knock them down every time the ball gets to them.
Jim Plunkett, he has been hassled and harried all night long. Totally ineffectual as far as deep passes are concerned, and the Raiders really go with it.
A hurry-up offense by the Raiders.
That's what Plunkett averaged a year ago in a season in which he was injured for much of the season.
If you average 6 yards a pass, why don't you throw every time and you get a first down every 2 passes?
Second and 9. Plunkett, Marcus Allen, and Allen twists and turns out to the 27. I think he's short of the first down by perhaps a foot. Greg Hill is there defensively for the Chiefs. Could be. We'll get a measurement. Again, this will be dependent upon the mark.
And the Raiders doing everything they can to conserve time by using this 2-minute offense of theirs.
The earliest I've seen the 2-minute offense go into play. 8:51 remaining in the game. Allen, he got the first down, but held short of the 30-yard line by Kevin Ross.
Marcus appears to be pressing a little bit. He's trying to make something happen, so he's trying to run. The last 2 times he really started running and started making moves before he caught the ball, but he still caught it.
On first down, Plunkett. Hawkins tripped up, falls to the 35-yard line. Good defensive play by Kevin Ross, the cornerback for the Chiefs.
The Chiefs are doing the right thing. The Raiders feel as if they're being successful now, but if they try to score 3 or 4 times doing this, they won't have enough time to win.
Plunkett throws underneath a charging Chief defensive lineman and gets the ball to Hawkins. One thing you can't do defensively when you have this hurry-up offense is you can't change personnel defensively. Can't get them on and off. Third down and less than a yard for the first.
It's also difficult to mix your coverages up.
Plunkett gets the ball to Hester, the rookie from Florida State. He steps out of bounds at the 39-yard line of the Chiefs with a first down.
Now, Joe, you would think that the defense that the Chiefs are playing with, that deep zone, that should have been the type of passes they were throwing, trying to hit it not so deep, but in the middle of the deep zone.
Well, the reason that pass worked is because he has been hitting the short passes. Defenders that time were overplaying the shorter ball and allowed the man to get back there. But the short passes really did set that one up.
At the 44-yard line, 1st and 10, the Raiders. Plunkett under pressure, trying to get to Hester.
Oh!
And Hester with a brilliant catch all the way to the 18-yard line. And what an effort on the part of the rookie speedster from Florida State. And he is fast, too. Almost all these wide receivers we're watching tonight, the former track stars. Hester of Florida State anchored the 440. I'll tell you, that's close. What an effort.
Yeah, more bad news for the Raiders when you have to pass and it's beginning to rain here in Kansas City. It's coming down pretty hard right now. That's not going to help their chances.
Rosbar stays in at center. The reason he's in there in place of Dave Dalby is that we understand Dave Dalby has an injured toe. On first down. Plunkett looks downfield, dumps it off to Hawkins, and Hawkins hammers his way down close to the 10-yard line before he's taken out of bounds by Sherman Cockcroft. They mark it at the 11. Short of the first down by a couple. Clock stop with 7:26 remaining in the game. We're going to see the Raiders twice more this season. We're going to see them against San Diego and Dan Fouts. Don Coryell's ball club. October the 28th. We'll see him December the 23rd. Crosstown rivalry against the Rams. Plunkett looking for Christensen. This time he cannot one-hand it. Albert Lewis was there for the Chiefs. Third down and 3. But it is a 2-down situation. We know that for the Raiders. Trailing 36-14, 7:22 remaining in the game. We're going to take a look at it from the end zone. I like this shot to get a really good opportunity to look at the defense. Safety blitz was on. Christensen was there. First down, goal to go. Raiders at the 5-yard line of the Chiefs. Good read by Plunkett.
It was a good read, and these guys are doing a good job of moving the ball, but as good a job as they're doing running the 2-minute offense, they're still consuming a lot of time.
Too much time. The Chiefs all night long have not given the Raiders the opportunity to go up on top, and that's what they love to do. We've said it over and over, but that is the case, and it's taken away a big weapon from the Raiders, who have that great speed on the outside in Dokie Williams and now Jesse Hester. Watch it again from the end zone. First down, goal to go. Plunkett rolling out, tried to get it to Williams, incomplete. Mentioned Kansas City's schedule. Their next game will be a week from Sunday. Will be against the Dolphins. Then they have Seattle, and they go right back and play the Raiders out in Los Angeles. So what we may be watching now for the rest of the game is a little intimidation on the part of the Raiders or on the part of the Kansas City Chiefs. Well, they meet in 2 weeks.
That last graphic certainly shows that statistics can lie. You know, Plunkett is 27 of 33 and 1 touchdown. Those are impressive statistics, but they've been ineffective here tonight.
Team record in completions is 31 by Ken Stabler. Plunkett's getting close, but not in the score. Incomplete. Lloyd Burris was there. 3rd down, goal to go. And the Chiefs have been resting Art Still and Bill Moss for a couple of plays. They bring them back out. Out comes Pete Koch and Dave Lindstrom. And in come Moss and Still. They want the extra pass rush right here. We'll watch it again from the end zone. Plunkett got out of trouble. The ball batted away. And there's a mad scramble for it. Flag is down. And Fred Silva will sort this one out. It was offside, Kansas City. So that will keep things alive for the Raiders.
Defense, number 99, encroachment. Lining up in the neutral zone. Half the distance to the goal.
Mike Bell, you see it at the bottom of your screen, number 99. He was lined up offside. There was pressure on Plunkett by Albert Lewis, the cornerback. Did not have a man coming downfield in his direction, so he just came on the pass rush.
Big Bill Mosca had the ball in his hand, number 63, tried to run before he caught it.
Well, you might try Marcus Allen over the top. You're in close enough. Nope. They'll go up on top. Plunkett looks in the end zone. Dokie Williams was there. Just a little too much on it. He couldn't handle it. Tom Flores now in his 7th year. What a remarkable career he has. And to keep this team together during all the problems, the lawsuit with the National Football League, moving from Oakland to Los Angeles, never knowing whether they're going to stay there or not stay there. And in the heat of all of that, and all the acrimony that caused, both the individuals involved, the collectively throughout the league, Tom Flores has been steady as a rock. Plunkett, and he finds Hester. Touchdown, Raiders. So with 6:52 remaining in the game, the rookie first-round draft pick, Jesse Hester, scores for the Raiders.
Hester just gets inside position, and when you're this close, you got to bump that guy. You can't let the guy run 4 or 5 yards into the end zone and not touch him from the 4-yard line.
There's one flaw in Kevin Ross who we have seen tonight, and down in close, he's got to play much tighter.
The timing was excellent on that pass play.
Here's Chris Barr. No. Well, when it goes wrong, everything goes wrong. There is Jesse Hester, the rookie from Florida State, with his first professional touchdown. A 2-yard reception from Jim Plunkett. Obviously, anticipating an onside kick, they have the sure-handed receiver types all up. There are 9 of them up there looking for the onside kick from Chris Barr. And, of course, you familiar with the game, you know the ball must travel 10 yards before a Raider can recover it. The Raiders also have their offensive receiver types and ball handlers on the kickoff team. Chris Barr, if he hits it like he hit that last conversion, it'll be perfect. The Raiders are offside. Way offside. And it did not go 10 yards, so there was academic. But the Raiders were offside, so Willie Scott covers for the Chiefs. They'll have super field position. 6:47 remaining in the game, and they lead by 16. Not bad. But you're never comfortable with the Raiders.
That was close if they weren't offside, because Sam Seals did touch the ball. I mean, the Chiefs did touch the ball, and Sam Seals ran right by the ball.
Big win tonight for the Yankees in New York. They defeated Toronto 7-5. That puts them 1.5 back. Earlier, the Mets defeated the Cardinals 7-6. That put them 1 ahead of the Cardinals. Keith Hernandez. And of course, you'll be watching in October the World Series right here on ABC. 44-yard line of the Raiders. 1st and 10, the Chiefs. Now is when you work on your run game. And you send Herman Hurd over the left side for about 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Seesaw game throughout the first half and the third quarter. Let's take a look at the scoring summary. Big night for Lowry. 5 field goals on the night. And not a bad night to Carlos Carson and Bill Kinney. Carson challenging Lester Hayes and Mike Haynes all night long. McKinney finally got it in there to him. And this is rounding out the scoring. Plunkett finally getting the ball to Hester for 2 yards, and that's where we are right now. 36-20, Kansas City over the Raiders. It's 2nd down and 8. Hurd over the right side, and he hammers his way down to about the 37-yard line. Short first down by about 3. Matt Millen there defensively for the Raiders, along with Mike Davis.
This Hurd's a tough kid, as we mentioned. He's small at 183 pounds. He's not going to be in the league too long if he takes many more shots like that one. Mike Davis really came up and hit him pretty good. But this kid is, when they get their running game together, you're going to really hear some things about this kid. He's an excellent football player.
I said it earlier, and you and I both talked about it, O.J. He's 5'10", 184. He's carried it 20 times tonight. He carried it 17 times Sunday against New Orleans. That's a lot of work for a man his size. 3rd and 3.
Yeah.
Hey, Rod Martin had it in his hands. He might have been able to score.
I don't know why they're throwing the football with the score in this situation right now.
Neither does Kinney, obviously.
I don't believe it. They're running the clock nicely, the offense. They snapped the ball that time with 1 second left on the 30-second clock, but they don't need to throw the football at this stage of the game. I don't know why they're doing it.
Rod Martin holds on to this ball. They get one onside kick, and it's a ball game.
Tell you, that's uncharacteristic of Rod Martin, too. He has 12 career interceptions. He's a little bit like Howie Long. He's always around the football.
His nickname is Claw because he has such big, hard hands.
Arnold puts it up, and Kansas City will be able to cover it near the 5-yard line. And hustling down there, Ken Jolly, but credit that to Jim Arnold. He had it high enough to get the coverage. 5 minutes remaining. Now we have flag down, a procedure call. It's going to work against Kansas City, and Arnold will have to do it all over again.
The rain is continuing to come down. That's going to add to the problems the Raiders have right now.
5 yards, 4th down.
Arnold drops back once again between Montgomery, back at the 10-yard line. Arnold prefers to put the ball up high, get the coverage, rather than going for the kick inside the 10. He does it again. Another booming, towering punt that should carry into the end zone. And it just did. Hustling down there was Sherman Cockcroft. The ball had a little too much carry on it. Raiders get it back. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. They have 4:52. They are down by 16 points. Raiders, of course, last year 11-5, wild card representative in the AFC, knocked off that sort of mark tonight.
That's very misleading.
It really is.
You know, these media...
Dokie Williams in and out of his hand.
Yeah, they're really laying off the secondary of Kansas City. They're really playing deep, but Jim is, well, he's about...
Raiders, 2nd down and 10. Flag is down, and this is Hester. Hester covers a lot of yardage for about a 6-yard pickup, but a flag is down, and it's the kind of flag that usually indicates holding. Illegal use of the hands. Yeah, works against Kansas City.
But you were right, it was holding. Right.
Illegal use of the hands, number 63. Defense, 5 yards, 1st down.
Bill Moss, the nose tackle. I want to remind you, Monday night, the caravan continues. We're going to each other. Or Mark Malone, the quarterback of the Steelers, coming off a big game. 5 touchdown passes. Plunkett on 1st down. Todd Christensen, he'll have another first down out to the 38.
You know, in that last play, some people may wonder how a defensive lineman can get called for holding. What he tried to do was control the offensive lineman, trying to pull him out of the way to give one of his teammates a chance to run through the hole.
And he can't do that.
Nope, that's not fair.
Plunkett. Picked off. No, they're saying that he trapped it.
He knew he didn't have it. He'd have gotten up and ran the ball if he...
Monday night, I mentioned a while ago, 22-3-1. That's truly remarkable over the 15-year history of this package, 16-year history. Frank Hawkins. And he'll have a Raider first down at midfield. And the Raiders, they like to refer to their record on Monday night. They don't refer to that record of prime time because in prime time, the Raiders are just a little different. They are 25-5-1, and tonight they're going to go to 25-6-1. But it's truly remarkable. Over the years, they have provided so many thrilling games. Today is Kenny Stabler, and of course we've had some terrific nights from Jim Plunkett.
There it goes.
Coming down with it, Albert Lewis. Second interception of this season. They're predicting all-pro status for this youngster.
Well, Theotis.
Talk about the thrilling nights that we've watched. Herman Hurd. Raiders have 3 timeouts. We'll be in Cleveland. We'll watch the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers. A week from tonight, we'll be in Minneapolis. We'll watch the Vikings and the Chicago Bears. This is Bruce King. Short of the first down, up close to midfield. Short by about a yard. Matt Millen in there first defensively for the Raiders. Inside 3 minutes. There's Big Matt. Second round pick back in 1980. Outstanding defensive lineman for Joe Paterno. I wonder if he thinks they're going to let him try and break the record. Yeah. He will make a lot of Raiders very unhappy if they put this lad in there again. In fact, he'll make them flat mad if they go with him again. With a 36-20 lead. This is Horton, the rookie first-round draft pick out of North Carolina, held short of the first down. Let's see what they do. They bring out Jim Arnold, the punter. Involved in the telecast of these games. Arnold puts it up high, and it takes a Raider bounce. Team this year. Lost in overtime on Sunday to the St. Louis Cardinals. First and 10. Plunkett needs one more completion to tie Kenny Stabler's completion record with the Raiders. The man wide open is Christensen. Steps out of bounds, gets the first down, stops the clock, and we'll get the 2-minute warning. A gain of 31 yards. Plunkett ties Stabler's completion record at 31. We'll be back. 4 times under his tenure as head coach here at Kansas City. And he's lost on each occasion. He will not lose tonight. Plunkett on first down.
Out of the way, official.
Plunkett can still move around. And Frank Hawkins, and what a collision between Hawkins and Greg Hill.
Hawkins is strong.
Well, he's got the right build for a collision like that. He's only about 5'10", but he weighs 210 pounds. So it certainly came in handy on that play.
Statistics are misleading. Plunkett has broken Kenny Stabler's Raider completion record. Plunkett with 32, now 33. Todd Christensen again. First down Raiders inside the 25 to the 24.
Well, Todd Christensen's attitude will be, I feel bad that we lost, but hey, at least I caught 9 or 10 passes the way this game is going.
Raiders have a couple of timeouts. They do not elect to use one. We're inside 1 minute remaining. Plunkett. Hawkins out of the backfield inside the 20, or Kenny King rather out of the backfield to the 18-yard line, and now the Raiders will use a timeout. great start, defeating the 49ers on Sunday. They're going to meet the Chicago Bears, who almost destroyed that football team a year ago. But Tommy Kramer is back. They moved the ball well, stunning the 49ers. We'll be there next Thursday night. And that ball just flat dropped by Kenny King. Plunkett was there, stopping the clock with 47 seconds. And as I mentioned earlier, we'll watch the Raiders twice more this season against San Diego, October the 28th, and in our final game of the season, we'll watch them against the Rams in Los Angeles. Maybe they're right here in Kansas City. They really think they have something working. 3rd down and 4. Plunkett looking into the end zone. That's the first time we've seen Jim Smith tonight, recently acquired. The last couple of years, he's had a remarkable 2 years with Birmingham. 227 receptions in 3 years at the USFL, 31 touchdowns. In his career, he had 337, that's counting 110 with Pittsburgh, and 55 touchdowns. It really is amazing when you think about it.
Well, Al's not too happy about this thing. I don't blame him, but his team had a tough assignment. They had to travel a few time zones to play a short week. They had not much chance to work out. They flew in here yesterday, and it's pretty difficult to change time zones and play a game like this.
On 4th down, the ball is picked off. That is Sherman Cockcroft, who narrowly missed an interception a short while ago. This one he gets. Plunkett trying to get it into Christensen in Kansas City, gets it back. 35 seconds remaining in the game. They're going to be celebrating here in Kansas City tonight. It's been a long time in coming. A victory over the Raiders. And John Mackovic, you get the feeling you're going to hear a lot of positive things about this young head coach in the National Football League. Brilliant scholar, and with a master's degree in education and a real scholar of this game of football. Former head coach at Wake Forest, assistant at Arizona, and assistant at West Point, and then 2 years working under Tom Landry with the Dallas Cowboys. Bill Kenny was brought down. They don't even have to touch him. And I don't think the Raiders will stop the clock. There certainly is no reason to. It's over. They're shaking hands. And Kansas City, having dropped 5 straight to the Los Angeles Raiders, wins the big one tonight. And they win it in grand style, 36-20. Jim Plunkett on a record-setting night. And he broke the team record of Kenny Stabler for completions, loses big to the Chiefs. Good night for Bill Kenny. Plunkett, 34 completions on the night. Once again, the final score, Kansas City 36, the Raiders 20. Travel arrangements made through and a promotional fee paid by United Airlines. United flies to Hong Kong for more top business centers with 3-class Royal Pacific service. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television. We'll see you Monday night from Cleveland and the Steelers.